So let's create spreadsheet, a sales spreadsheet that calculates the cost price, the sales price, the profits, expenses, and the profit after expenses. Then we'll categorize them into several days to be able to differentiate which day the sales or the transactions occurred. So, as a salesperson, you want to understand these factors or these features in your business to be able to know how you are making profit, to be able to track prices of goods and everything that comes with it. Now, let's begin. So, you start by dragging this. I think I'll be needing, let's say, I'll be needing up to this amount of columns. Then I'll bring this down to 25. Now, these are row numbers and these are column letters. Columns are made up of letters, rows are made up of numbers. So, while these cells, each block here are called cells. So, while these cells are still highlighted, I'll come to home, click on borders. I want all borders to have their lines like this. There are different styles, so you could just do whatever works for you. Now, I would increase the size of each of the columns to be able to accommodate whatever I'm putting in each of the cells. So to increase the size, when you see this cross sign, you simply um, left click and drag. You hold and drag with your mouse. I'll come to the middle of the first row. I'll click on shift and click on the next row. I want to select only um, two of these cells. So I will come here, click on merge and center. So I'll write day one. For the day one, I want the text to be bigger. So I'll highlight, come to home and click on this area to increase the text size. Now I'll come to this area to give these columns some header or titles. So we'll start with the first, which is item. The second is cost price. Third is sales price. The fourth is profit. And the fifth is expenses. So let's write some item names. We'll just write random things that people sell: fish, gold, paper, wood, and shoes. So let's add that. So these are the items. For instance, these are the items. Then the cost price. Let's say you bought fish 2,000. You bought gold for 35,000. You bought paper for 900. We bought wood for 400. We bought perfume for 13,000. We bought shoes for 5,000. And we bought bags for 26 100. 25 100 rather. So the sales price would automatically be higher than the cost price. So let's say you sold these items for a higher price. Let's give them a random price: 4,300, 41,900, 1,100, 820, 15,4, 6,5, and 3,200. So we have our cost price and we have our sales price. These are what you sold these items for. These items for. So to calculate the profit, we'll simply come to the first cell here and type equal to. Once you type the equal to, Excel will know that you want to carry out a calculation. Now, since the sales price is automatically larger than the cost price, we'll say the sales price minus the cost price and press enter. So Excel will automatically calculate it, and the difference is 2 3. The difference is what will be reflected in this column. So to populate the formula, this this formula to populate the formula to other rows that you would wish for, you can click on this area and drag down. to where you want it to stop. So it simply calculates the difference. So even if I come and I say I put hot here, this is a new item now. Hold on, please. So let's drag this down, right? So this place is blank. So let's calculate hat. Let's say we bought hat for 100 and we're selling it for 160. So we see that the difference, it calculates the difference. At the point where I put 100 and I did not put 160, it was showing minus 100, meaning there is a deficit, which is not supposed to be so. So here we have our profit calculated. For the expenses, some businesses do not do expenses or have tons of expenses every day. So let's assume this our business do not have tons of expenses. So let's say we had expenses of 3,000 and one, maybe 110. So let's say in our spreadsheet, we want to see the total of every of the numerical column. We want to see the total cost price of all the items, the total sales price, total profit, and total expenses. We simply come down here, total. Then we come to the last part of this cost price column. We press R equal to and type sum because we want to plus everything. Sum and the first open bracket. Now, since we want to sum everything from column B3 to column B10, we can just hold left click and drag down to the area where we want to stop and we press enter. Gives us the total. We do the same thing for sales price equal sum open bracket drag down enter. So we have succeeded in finding the total of each of these features. To make this column, this row stand out, we simply increase the width of the column and then we we increase the size of the text and make it bold so that whoever is operating the spreadsheet will know that they'll see clearly that this is total. I want to see the profit after expenses. So come here. Based on my design, this is how I want it to look. But if you want it to be here, you could do that. But for me, I want it to be here. So I want to see the profit after expenses. So I would increase the width of this column so that and increase the width a little bit of the row. Then I will come here and say equal to. Now we want to see the profits after expenses. So that means we'll minus, we want to remove the expenses from the total profit, the total expenses from the total profit. So we'll click on the profits minus total expenses and we press enter. So our overall profit after expenses is 14,770 after we've sold these items. Now, we want this area to look as bold as the first one. So we'll do the same thing we did earlier on. Increase the size, embolden it, and that's it. We could go further to color code it, like to give it some look. So let's say for instance, this area we want it to have a color. So for it to have a color, you simply come to this area, fill color. You could make a selection of any color you want, but I think I'll go with this light gray. And then since this area is all about profit, I would color it a green, a green. So that is that for the sales spreadsheet. So if you want to duplicate this table and maybe have day one, day two, day three, day four, day five, all you need to do is come here, left click and drag up until the cell you want to stop. Now you press Control C. Control C copies whatever you've highlighted. Then you come to the column where you want to start. You want the table you've copied to start, the cell rather. You come to the cell and you right you right click and come to paste special. You simply come to paste and value formatting and you click. Now you have something like this down here. You could do this for several other rules. Just make sure that when you're creating your spreadsheet, you create as much rows as you want, then you paste it as you go. So once you paste it, it doesn't stop there. You have to, impute the formulas because as you can see, this is just plain values. It does not have any formatting. So what I want to do is I want to clear this area and just put zero values here because most of the time before you use a spreadsheet, the spreadsheet is empty. These are the items you're selling. This is the cost price. The cost price is always there. The sales price will be imputed as you make sales. Then it calculates the profit. And whenever you have expenses for that day, then you impute it. So let's reformat this area. So I would click on Shift after selecting this cell and click on this next cell. Then I'll come to Home and merge and center it. After merging and center, I will highlight this and increase the size. I will increase the width of my row so that this fits. I would also make this bold. Then I would come to this area and calculate because we are summing here. I'll sum and copy the area where I want the calculation to occur. I would do the same thing for here. I'll come here to profit and say sales price minus cost price to calculate my profit, and I'll press enter. Then I'll click on the cell where I have my calculation and just drag it down. Then I'll come to after expenses and click on equal to the profit, that's the total profit minus total expenses, and click on enter. So right now our spreadsheet can calculate our sales and profits, then expenses after profit. So let's impute prices for this. Let's say we went to the market and price of fish is 4,000. We did not see goat, but we saw wood. Wood is 480. We didn't see perfume, but we saw shoes, which is 59. We saw hats. Hats is um 3,300. So when we went to the market, we spent 13,680. So the sales price, we sold these things, and the price for fish was 7,000. The price for wood was 1,3. The price for shoes 7,2, and hats 4,000. And let's say the expenses we did on a certain day was so one. Let's put another one here. Let's say 910. Now total of 310 and 3,010 naira. And if we this is the total profit and this is the total expenses. If we remove 3,010 naira from 5,820, it gives us 2,810. So let's format it the same way we did initially. So this is how you create a spreadsheet that calculates your sales, expenses, and profits in your business. This can also apply to an individual who wants to calculate their expenses for the month, their salary or income, expenses, and savings. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you want this type of tutorial, kindly let me know in the comment section. I'll always be here to answer your request. And if you know someone who might need this resource, kindly share with them. They will thank you so much for it. Bye for now.